And one of the things Bruce Mosier talked about quite a little bit at these rallies to keep people stirred up was a thing called shooting off of the anvils. And that intrigued me to death when I heard about that, so I did a little bit of research on that. Now, in Bruce's book, he tells the story about what shooting off of the anvils was. They would hold their political rallies inside the Opera House, and they would give speeches to the people who gathered, very patriotic speeches, hooray for our side and to hell with the rest and all that stuff. But they would get up in front of the crowd there, and people would get all wound up. And the way they had it set up was that every time one of the political speakers would say something very patriotic, somebody would wave a flag out the Opera House window. And that signaled the people out in what is the parking lot today to do what's called shooting of an anvil. Now these anvils, these would weigh, there's two of them here, these anvils would weigh about 100 pounds apiece. Very, very heavy. And they were, of course, designed, you can see the tongues on them. This is where the blacksmith would bend the horseshoes and other metal work. But for this particular purpose, they would turn one upside down, and at the bottom, in order to save weight, there'd be a little cavity in the bottom here. Now, what these fellas would do is fill that full of black gunpowder, and then they would stack the other anvil on top of it and and have a fuse set in there. Now, when the fella in the Opera House would wave the flag, the very patriotic thing, they didn't have a lot of fireworks back in that time. You know, they didn't want to fire dynamite off. There wasn't any tannerite at that time to blow the, so they would shoot these anvils. And what they would do is load that full of gunpowder or dynamite fuse. When they would send the signal out there, somebody'd light the fuse. And the black powder doesn't really explode until it's compressed. And when you've got two anvils on you, you get compressed. This top anvil would fly 75 feet or 100 feet up in the air and come crashing to the ground, but it would make a tremendous roar.
Make the ground shake too.
Yeah, the ground would shake, the buildings, what windows there were, it was just a tremendous blast. Now black powder, yeah, there's probably dents up there where these things landed. Now, like I said, black powder isn't terrifically combustible, but when you put it under pressure, it does this. Now, in Bruce's books, he tells about the people made the foolish mistake of putting the kids in charge of blowing the anvils, shooting the anvils, and he was one of the ones involved with it. They actually, during that particular political rally, they would wave the flag no matter what the guy said, and the kids would blow off the anvil. And the explosions went off so much they actually ruined an anvil. Now I don't know how you would ruin a 120-pound chunk of steel like that, but they certainly did. So I got a big kick out of that. That was if you've never read any of Bruce's books, make sure you do. These books tell a lot of great stories about the town of Bristol.